Hey everybody, Jared from Bergstrom. Just wanted to give you guys a quick overview of the 2022 Bolt EV versus the 2022 Bolt EUV. Now I'm going to be completely honest with you. These vehicles are almost exactly the same with only a few minor changes, and I'm going to go through those here with you right now. Let's go. So the largest difference between these two is going to be the overall length. So we'll start with the Bolt EV over here. The overall length on this guy is going to be 163.2 inches, which is just slightly smaller than the 2021. And then if we go over here to the EUV, it is actually 169.5 inches. So 6.2 inches longer than the EV. So giving you a little bit more space, and I'm going to show you exactly where that space comes into play here. So believe it or not, the front legroom, the front headroom, and the rear headroom are the exact same on both of these vehicles. The big difference is actually going to be in rear legroom. So let's take a look at the EV here first. So on the back of the EV, you have 35.6 inches of leg space. So that's going to be from here to the back of the seat there. And in the EUV, you have an extra 3.5 inches. So bigger guys like me who are 6 feet 2 inches tall, I can actually fit back here decent with that 3.5 inches of leg room. So that gives me a little bit more space and makes it a lot more comfortable for me. Now in the front seat here, we're just going to do a quick look at the driver's area. So you got the steering wheel here, stuff on the door, and then you have your center console with that newer, bigger screen. And we've got these buttons here in the center instead of that stick that was on the previous generation. And then if we take a look inside the EUV, yep, you guessed it. It is exactly the same. So you have everything on the steering wheel, on the left-hand side here on the door. You got that same bigger screen, and then you got those same buttons down here. And funnily enough, the space in the rear is exactly the same. 57 cubic feet of storage space if we fold the second row down. Otherwise, it is, I believe, just shy of 17 cubic feet there. So if we go over here, it is the exact same size. So you're not really gaining a whole lot going from the EV to the EUV as far as total cargo space. The only difference is going to be that extra 3.5 inches in the rear seat, which you don't really think is a lot until you're a tall person. You sit back there, and the difference between that and this, as far as rear comfortability is concerned, this is so much nicer. And you would think with the vehicle being 6 inches longer and a little bit bigger, the mileage on the EUV is quite a bit less than the EV, but it's really not. The EUV only has 9 miles less of range than the EV. So it's at 250 and the EV is at 259. So really the only difference is that rear legroom. So if you're debating between the two and you don't really use the second row all that much, you can get away with the EV instead of having to upgrade to the EUV. But if you have a little bit larger people that you're going to be putting in the back seat, the EUV is definitely the way to go. Hopefully this answers all your questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one.